Hello and welcome to the 11th in my series of videos showing you how to construct learning packs using Xerte. I hope you find them useful. This video is a short introduction to the Hotspot image page and provides a quick demonstration of what it is and what it can do. I use the Hotspot image page to provide the learners with an interactive way of exploring their learning, and it can be useful as a method of getting quite a lot of information onto a simple seeming page. So let's have a look at how this page works. My first example looks at dog breeding terms. On the left of the page is an area where you can provide a background to what the page is about, along with simple instructions of how to use the page. In this case, the page is used to explore dog breeding terms, and the learner is asked to move over the image on the right and click on a term to see more. So if I click on, say, dog breeds, I'll end up with some information about dog breeds, and if I click on subspecies, I get information about subspecies. So each of these four terms has a bit more information on. So there's actually quite a lot of textual information being presented on this page in a fairly simple way. So that's a very basic way of using a hotspot page. This image on the right has various hotspots defined, and each one has text linked to it. So let's have a look at a different way of using a hotspot page. In my second example, the learner is asked to reflect on their knowledge of health checks, and the hotspot page takes the form of a simple quiz in which they select an area on the health check. So it says, do you know what general areas to look at in your health checks? Click on a word on the left if you think it should be part of the health check. So for example, if the learner thinks it's external experience, they click on it and it tells them, yes, that's correct, and then there's a bit of additional information. Lumps, bumps, blisters should be investigated further. So say for example they think that internal ear inspection should be part of the health check. Unfortunately, that's not correct. An examination of all your animal's ears might show up some early signs of health, but it isn't really practical on a daily basis, as it would take up too much time. This isn't really part of your regular animal health checks. So you see, each particular term or area of the health check has a yes, that's correct, no, that's not correct. So this is a different way of using a hotspot image as a very simple, interactive and immediate quiz. Then the third example I have is slightly more complicated. It gets the learner to try to understand signs of pain in a dog. And here the hotspots are showing on the image. And the learner is asked to make a note either on paper, as here, or it could be via an online notepad linked to their VLE course, which they would then keep. And when they click on a specific part of the animal, they get feedback on the signs of pain from that area. So for the mouth, for example, I think it might be dribbling, or it could be chomping the mouth. Let's just click on it and see what we get. So if there were signs of pain related to the mouth, you'd have the head tilted to one side, the ears would be held low, salivation, head shaking, frequent yawning. So I got some of them right, but missed a few points. There's also a forward and backwards button on just under the hotspot image, and if I click on it, it cycles through and highlights the various parts of the animal. So this is a good way to get the learner to memorize signs of pains just by scrolling through. So that's the third example. So let's just recap. We've got a very simple example in which you have a hotspot with a definition linked to it. You have a more complicated example with more terms, but basically you're asking the learner to interact with the image and answer some questions. And on the third example, this is a good way of getting a learner to look at various parts, say, of an animal, or it could be a person, and to think about information related to that particular part. So those are 3 examples of using hotspot pages. I'm sure you can think of many more, and when you do, please share them so everybody can benefit. In my next video, Xerte 12, I'll show you how to actually create a simple hotspot page.